The ultimate fishing experience is brought to you by Lund Boats. This week on the ultimate fishing experience, there's nothing like a little friendly competition to hone your fishing skills. We join twin brothers Scott and Marty Glorvigen, reliving and renewing a lifelong rivalry forged while exploring the outdoors. Their passion for fishing led them to build a multi-dimensional sports marketing company featuring sports apparel, fishing promotions, and their popular Wired to Fish website. Both have competed at the highest level on the Walleye Tournament Trail, with Scott taking top honors in both RCL and PWT. But today, rather than duking it out in high-performance fishing machines, they're going back to their roots of fishing small lakes in small boats with lots of trash talk in between.
He has a tendency, when he gets lucky,
coming back, making the push.
He confuses it with skill.
Marty's craft of choice for this competition will be Lund's 1600 Fury Tiller, while Scott boards the Fury Console. Both boats feature the same hull, yet different interior layouts to fit their fishing preferences, proving once again that they can never agree on anything.
Yak. That's all I've heard all my life.
So it's time to rig up those rods, psych out the competition,
Number 3.
and let the best stick win.
Hello, brother.
For no matter if you fish for a living or strictly for fun, fishing in a boat that fits your needs makes life on the water all the more enjoyable.
In sports, the psychological part of the game is probably the most important. All right, you ready to go out and see if you can redeem yourself catching a few fish? You know, you and I have been fishing against each other and with each other for heck since we were back 12, 13 years old. And today is kind of a reminisce way back when, if you will, and back to our roots, back to where we started in fishing in that 16-foot boat and that small horsepower outboard and going head to head, you know? You know, I'm surprised you're willing to take on this challenge as many times as I beat you growing up. We'll see how the day goes. I'm pretty well certain my name rests on the Glorvigen of the Year plaque way more than yours does. So we'll see if it holds true for the day. You know what you're telling me, those other wins mean nothing when it comes to this competition. Hey, it's all about Glorvigen of the Year, baby. You can have whatever alphabet soup championship you want, but it's about Glorvigen of the Year. So let's go get this done. All right. Growing up in northern Minnesota and being part of a large family, my parents had a place on a lake. We had a cabin up on Lake Winnebagosh and Cutfoot, and fishing is what we did. You know, we were always fishing, whether we were on the dock, on the shore, or out in our Lund boat. And as we've gone along, and we've had a wonderful career in the world of fishing. Martin and I have been extremely competitive with one another all the time, and that's a good thing, because the strengths that I have in regards to fishing and competitive angling, he may not agree, I feel they're pretty solid, but on the same token, when it comes to the business side of fishing, which we've worked hard at to build our careers, build Wired to Fish, build the marketing company that we have, Gemini Sports Marketing and the apparel business. That really falls on Mark's shoulders. He's the business visionary with what we've done, and I'm kind of the fishing visionary with the competitive angling. But through this whole process that we've been involved in, you know, building a career and making a nice living in the fishing industry, and always coming back to our roots, the one common denominator that we've had throughout this entire process is Lund Boats. And what it's truly all about, whether you're in business or whether it's going out there and having a good time or whether you make your living in it, is it's still about going out and catching fish and having a wonderful experience with the products that you're using to help you catch more fish when you're on the waters.
Well, brother, you ready to start this Glorvigen of the Year competition?
It's going to be short-lived for you, let me tell you. So,
what do you think at the end? We'll go total points and then tiebreaker biggest fish?
Yeah, remember, 2 points for a bass, 2 points for a walleye, 1 point for a northern, and if you catch the dreaded dogfish, you go back to 0.
Okay, now this is on the honor system. And
You're questioning me in regards to the honor system?
not that I'm questioning your ability at math or your ability to keep score. And let's make sure that we take photos of those fish, you know, with your phone in case you want to text it or send it, Twitter it to your fans.
Well, I don't have a lot on my Twitter account, but I'll certainly send you a picture of the
I
fish.
appreciate that.
Good luck.
All right.
Yak, yak, yak. That's all I've heard all my life.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mercury Marine, #1 on the water.
Yeah, throughout northern Minnesota and a lot of places, there's a lot of little natural lakes like this. If I was going to give somebody some advice on where to start on a body of water like this, it's a natural lake, is simply get out to that edge of the weed line where you can't see the weeds anymore. And most of the time, the fish will set up on that, whether it's bluegills, crappies, bass, what have you. So if you're not familiar with the body of water, start out at the deep weed edge and then look for some key points that come out. Keep it simple, start at the edge and go from there. 2 points. On the board, you know, very typical, a lot of lakes like this. Largemouth bass, they'll sit on the weed line. A lot of times the bluegills are right with them, but if you start out on the weed line, just working down the edge, pitching. Here the shoreline actually goes in a little bit tighter where the break is, so one of the little secrets to that is pay attention to those little details. That may be the key, is where the real sharp drop-offs are now later in the season. So there we go. Another little one. 2 points. We'll do the selfie now. Huh? Technology, I love it. I can harass my brother. Selfie number 2. There you go. Nuts! There we go. Another little bass. What do you think? I think it's time for another selfie. Good shot. We'll make that look a little bit bigger. Now we'll send it to him. Burying him.
Number 3. That means he got 6 points. I knew he was staying on that shoreline too much. I shouldn't have let him pick that shoreline. I should have picked. See if he's made the fatal mistake. We'll see if there's a bait in the fish's mouth. Can't see anything. That's probably a 3.5 pounder, so I better get going.
Here's what I'm using, a little jig worm, and this one of my favorite presentations is the mushroom head jig. That's a Northland jig, long shank hook, and then some sort of 4 or 6 inch plastic. Now a lot of times I like to fish a curly tail like this, just give a little more action, swimming it out off the edge. And then if I'm fishing it real slow, maybe more vertically, I'll go to just a straight tail with a little paddle on the back of it, kind of a finesse type presentation. But this is a great presentation to get on the edge of the weed line. It's easy to do. Cast it up, let that jig fall down, and then just slowly work it back to the boat. Nothing fancy about it, and you catch a lot of fish. When Marty and I go fishing for largemouth bass, we're rigged up with lots of different baits. That way, we let the fish tell us what they prefer. And knowing Marty, he'll go through most of them before he gets bit. Here are some of our go-to baits. Besides the jig worm I already mentioned, a Texas rig worm or creature bait is a must for heavy cover. Same with the bass jig and craw. For covering water a little faster, lures like spinner baits, lipless rattle baits, and swim baits work well. Then there are crankbaits. You'll need a selection including shallow runners, mid-range ones, and deep runners. And we never go without suspending minnow baits, which at times can often trigger strikes when nothing else can. Last but not least, topwaters. There are many types of topwaters out there, but if I had to pick just one, it would be the popper. This simple selection of lures should cover the majority of bass fishing and any toothy critters you encounter. Could be 1 point. Looks like it. Well, a point's a point. Certainly acted a lot bigger than he is. But when you're in hunt for competing with your brother, and every fish counts, I'll even take a Jack Northern. I'll see if I can make him look really giant. Fill up most of the screen here. There we go. The amazing part of photography is you can cheat a little bit. In sports, the psychological part of the game is probably the most important.
He's on fish number 4 now, and I've only managed to break one off. He got a big pike. Not looking good. I got to put my rally cap on here. We're only 1 hour into this event, and he has, if my numbers are right, he's got 7 points, and I have 0.
Looks like brother's making a major location change. Nope, he's coming over. The selfies has gotten to him.
Spent a lot of time on this point.
There's a reason for it. Are you looking for a sandwich or some advice?
I just look to see if you had anything to drink. Got a Coke or something?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Is your phone off or on?
Oh, it's on.
I haven't seen any pictures.
No, I haven't seen any selfies yet, but spent a lot of time on this point.
There's a reason for it.
Old trick. I needed to see what he was using. He was using a jig worm, so he figured I was up to that. He wouldn't pull his lure out of the water, but when I started talking cordial to him, then he reeled it up. So he's using a jig worm. Looks like it's purple. See what the competition is using. We're going into another lake here, so we're going to go through a shallow spot. What's nice in regards to smaller motors, smaller boats is obviously you can get into smaller bodies of water, easier to trailer, less expensive, but yet still has form, fit, and function, if you will, in regards to being able to fish out of them. The nice thing with the small 4-strokes, if you're a first-time boat owner, is it really reduces the amount of maintenance that you got to deal with in regards to having the mixing oil, carrying oil compared to from a 2-stroke perspective. 4-stroke, basically change the plugs once a year, change the oil once a year, and winterize it and make sure the lower unit doesn't have any moisture in the mixed in with the oil. On these small motors now, you got built-in power trim and tilt. So when I'm going into shallow water like this, I can trim it up a lot safer. I don't have to get over the top of the motor. I don't have to flip any levers. A nice feature, a little more added expense, but well worth it in regards to versatility. The kill switch on your wrist, run mechanism, you can shut the motor on and off right there. If for some reason that you lose control of the boat, you'll kill the motor and as a kill switch. Electric start. The other thing that's nice on these small tiller motors is the shift through control. Forward, into neutral, into reverse. I don't have to reach back and adjust the lever or pull the lever forward or push the lever backwards for forward and reverse. All the features that are in the big motors built into the small motors. Buy as much horsepower as you can. That gives you a lot more versatility in regards to waves and the amount of weight that you carry in the boat. There we go.
Don't lose it! Don't lose it! You know, typical, when he starts fishing around me, he starts catching fish.
Being that it's a numbers game, I'm just gonna see if I can pile the numbers on and get caught back up. So, we're on the board. Large mouth. Point's a point. 2 points. So I'm gonna work this hard. Try to get my selfie here.
You're hot holing me.
Two points. I'm not skunked.
Comes to Lund's DNA about fishing, and you look at the different boats. One thing they build into every boat is the fishability aspect of it. Now, whether you're like my know-it-all brother over there, he's fishing in the Fury 1600 tiller boat. Even though he's in the back running with the tiller, he can fish this spot as equally as well as I can from fishing from the bow. Take it, it's a 12-volt system. He's got it set up with a long shaft tiller on there. That's a 45-inch electric trolling motor, which gives it plenty of depth so the trolling motor's down in the water, running the thrust underneath the bottom of the boat, but it's tall enough that he can simply just reach down and adjust the handle.
And with the IPS hull underneath the boat as it runs up midship, it has a cutting edge on it, so it holds that water underneath almost like a skate blade on ice. Where a lot of smaller boats, they're just a flat bottom, so there's really nothing to hold the boat in place, so it'll always drift downwind on you. And you thinking that it's important just on the big boats? No, not at all.
What I've got here on the bow is a power drive unit. It's designed to be able to run it with the long cord so I can be in the back of the boat or at the front of the boat, but more importantly is I have the ability to control the boat no matter what situation I'm in. So if I'm working a shoreline or working an edge like we're doing here, I can be up in front of the boat, or if I'm drifting walleye fishing, I want to run it from the console, I can extend the cord back and run it from there. So when you look at what your needs are for fishing and the style of boat you want to fish out of, regardless if it's a small boat or a big boat, Lund typically has the product for you so you can go out and optimize your fishing and have the ability to catch a lot more fish.
Hello, brother! Two points, coming back, making the push.
He has a tendency, when he gets lucky, he confuses it with skill, of which he has very little of. He has a lot more luck than skill.
Nice little healthy guy. Hopefully they'll get bigger. So, starting to make a run at Scott. We'll see how it goes. Don't let the pressure get to you now.
Well, he's really running off at the mouth.
Don't think about me slowly catching up to you. One fish at a time. You're a little deep there. Probably should get it a little more shallower.
There we go. Little one. Another 2 points.
Get him in the boat.
Oh! Can't believe I missed that fish.
A few more of these, a couple bass, and we'll be back in the game.
There we go. What we got here? Another little jack. Little northern. All right, though. It's a point. Art likes fishing out of the tiller boats. I like fishing out of this console Fury. And there's a couple reasons for it. A, it allows me to get the family in the boat. There's lots of places for people to sit and fish from. A couple of great features. A bigger deck on the smaller boat allows me to put electric trolling motor and electronics. This here, Lowrance Elite, is an absolute wonderful unit. It's very economically priced. It gives me all the features in regards to sonar capability that a much larger and more expensive unit would cost, but it gives me the color detail, it shows me bait fish, it shows me structure, but also it frees up the space and it makes it easy to place on the front of your boat. You look at the storage space underneath the front deck, lots of it. A live well that actually runs across the front of the boat, adds to stability as well as takes care of your fish. On the side, I've got a massive rod locker, which is unheard of for small boats like this, and I have plenty of storage on the driver's side for other types of gear, accessories, so forth and so on. So whether your choice is a tiller boat or a console boat, the 1600 Fury gives you plenty of space to hold all your gear when you're out fishing. Other little guy. And he increases his lead once again. Well, it's time to go back in and see who won this little tournament between my twin brother and myself. And based on what I saw today, I didn't get any selfies from him, but I certainly sent a bunch to Marty. So we'll see how it turns out back at the dock. So stay tuned.
Well, what do you do?
I guess you saw some of my selfies. Since you're the last one in, you can be the first one to talk about your day. So how'd it go?
Well, I ended up with 6 points. Just didn't come together.
Sounds like lots of excuses. I think this morning I heard you chirp, 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 chirp.
Yeah.
I had 15 points.
Well, you know, I guess I'm going to eat a little humble pie for the next year, but we'll do this again and see where the chips fall. So I got to congratulate you for Glorvigen of the day, Glorvigen of the week, and Glorvigen of the year. So,
You know, I'm used to that acceptance speech. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like more information, check out lundboats.com or these other online outlets.